Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter number 24, entitled The Renunciation of Kardama Muni, verse number 31. Tani evate abhirupani rupani bhagavanstava yani yani charochante swajanam arupinaha. Translation purport by Abhicharan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. My dear Lord, although you have no material form, you have your own innumerable forms. They truly are your transcendental forms, which are pleasing to your devotees. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord is one absolute, but he has ananta or innumerable forms. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. The Lord is the original form, but still he has multi-forms. Those multi-forms are manifested by him transcendentally, according to the tastes of his multi-devotees. It is understood that once Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, said that he knew that Narayana, the husband of Lakshmi, and Rama, the husband of Sita, are one and the same, and that there is no difference between Lakshmi and Sita. But as for himself, he liked the form of Lord Rama. In a similar way, some devotees worship the original form of Krishna. When we say Krishna, we refer to all forms of the Lord, not only Krishna, but Rama, Nrisimha, Varaha, Narayana, etc. The varieties of transcendental forms exist simultaneously. This is also stated in the Brahma Samhita, Rama Adi Murtishu Nana Avataram. He already exists in multi-forms, but none of the forms are material. Sridhar Swami has commented that Arupinaha, without form, means without material form. The Lord has form, otherwise how can it be stated here, Tani evate abhirupani rupani bhagavanstava. You have your forms, but they are not material. Materially, you have no form, but spiritually, transcendentally, you have multi-forms. Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand these transcendental forms of the Lord, and being disappointed, they say that Supreme Lord is impersonal. But that is not a fact. Whenever there is form, there is a person. Many times in many Vedic literatures, the Lord is described as Purusha, which means the original form, the original enjoyer. The conclusion is that Lord has no material form, and yet, according to the liking of different grades of devotees, he simultaneously exists in multi-forms, such as Rama, Nrisimha, Varaha, Narayana, and Mukunda. There are many thousands and thousands of forms, but they are all Vishnu Tattva, Krishna. This is the Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada.
Tani evate abhirupani rupani bhagavanstava. The Lord has a form. Otherwise, how it can be stated like this here? What it means, you have your forms, but they are not material. Materially, you have no form. And spiritually, transcendently, you have multi-forms. So this is a very key revelation, which is not revealed to those who are envious of God. This truth is not revealed. They still think that the God is an imperson. Because if there is an impersonal God as the ultimate, then this idea of or being subordinate to somebody does not come at all. Because the impersonalists, they get fed up of this material name, form, activities. They say that they themselves have no form. God also does not have form. Not only form, there is no personality. God has no personality. I have no personality. Personality means Maya. Identity means Maya. I and you. What exists is pure consciousness with no identity. A unitary consciousness. That's one addition from Buddhism. Buddhism means nothing is there beyond matter. Impersonalists means they say that there is something and I am not this matter but I am that. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. These are statements from Vyasadeva, but they interpret it. Aham Brahmasmi means I am Brahm. Tattvamasi means I am that, I am not this matter. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. I am not revealed to everybody. I cover my truth with my eternal potency. Here it is said that Rupani, and in the end it says Swajananam Arupinaha. Has no form. In the beginning it says there is form. And in the end it says Arupinaha. Because the Lord does not have material form. If you don't say Arupinaha, then what it means is that the Lord is, the verse can be misinterpreted to mean that Lord has material forms. But the fact is that the Lord manifests before the material eyes of the devotees as an incarnation. Then he has to be, the conditioned souls have to see the Lord with these eyes. So his transcendental form, just because it is seeable by the material eyes, it does not mean that it is material form. So Arupinaha. Lord has no material form. But very mercifully, very kindly, he appears in matter, in a similar form. So that those who can see matter, they see matter. They see matter form. And simultaneously they see this transcendental form. Because it is identical. There is no difference between the deity incarnation, there is no difference between Lord Krishna incarnating before our eyes 5,000 years ago, there is no difference between Kapila incarnating before us as a walking person on this earth. There is no difference between the principle there and the principle in the deity. So those who are not devotees of the Lord, they will never get convinced that God has a form, transcendental form. Everything is set in his pastime, everything Lord's pastime, incarnation in such a way that unless one is gifted with the mercy and insight from a pure devotee, that curtain will not go. He has enough reasons to think that this God is material. These God's forms are material. Krishna, that Parabrahman or that Brahman who incarnates, which is the same as me. There is no I, you and all. That Brahman is Krishna, that Brahman is me. Krishna was an evolved Brahman. One day I can also become evolved like that and become like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he extensively referred to Sridhar Swami's commentary on Bhagavatam. Sridhar Swami was a commentator of Bhagavatam from the Shankara school of thought. Because and Sridhar Swami, he interpreted, as Prabhupada says, Sridhar Swami has commented that Arupinaha, without form means without material form. He is very famous. Sridhar Swami is very famous for Bhagavatam commentary in all school of thoughts. But actually he was coming from which school of thought? Shankara school of thought. And he gave this interpretation. And Sridhar Swami elaborately comments that God has a form, God is transcendental, Vaikuntha is a truth, all these things. And Sridhar Swami says that Shankaracharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam. That was, he had a mission. He gave commentary on Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, he accepts Govinda, Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam he did not touch, because that was not, without that itself, by taking advantage of the not so deep personal aspect in the Vedanta Sutras, which was more like formulas, sutras. He managed to convince the Buddhists to become back to Vedic faith. So that was the main mission of Shankaracharya. And Sridhar Swami says that God has a form. Whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke Bhagavatam, he was commenting on Sridhar Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Our 6 Goswamis also elaborately they took the shelter of Sridhar Swami's commentary on Bhagavatam. And isn't it peculiar that he is from Shankara school of thought? But this is a way the Lord works in this material world to bring forth the truth. First he brought Shankaracharya, who gave this a philosophy which is very close to Buddhism. I mean, if somebody is saying Shunyavadi, there is nothing beyond matter, you say that there is another substance, and that substance is God, and you are all subordinate to him. No Buddhist will accept, nobody will change. So you have to give a philosophy which is very, very, very close. So you just say, no, not. You just, something is there beyond matter, Brahman. Then what is that they ask? No, that's Nirguna. You cannot understand. There is something. So he established a Brahman Tattva back in the society, that there exists spirit. Existence is not only matter. According to Buddhism, existence is only matter. Buddhism is complete materialism. But in that materialism, they understand the laws of gross and subtle nature. Unlike the modern scientists, they are fully materialistic. According to them, only gross matter exists. Buddhists are advanced materialists. Gross matter is there, subtle matter is there. Not only laws of gravity are there, laws of karma is there. At a fine level, there are all these things are there. So it's almost very, very close if you see. Except talking about God and Brahman, everything else they believe in what we believe in. Reincarnation, everything. But ultimately, Shunyavadi. Till you realize you are Shunya, you are nothing, you will go on reincarnating. Not you, your body mind system, which creates this identity. That is, so this identity is all temporary, So to bring people from that to, why did Buddha do that? Buddha had to do that again. Krishna came as Buddha. To see that nobody believes in Vedas. That is why he came. Again, look at the social situation at that time at the time of Buddhism. There is extensive killing of animals going on, all in the name of the Vedas. So he came and he preached the highest religion is ahimsa, non-violence. So somehow a leader speaks, everybody follows. Okay, many people became Buddhists. And in order to preach this new ahimsa, he has to, because if he has to reject the Vedas, because Vedas are what the people are misusing to say that no, we should kill animals. So he gave a revolutionary thing, reject all the Vedas. So how within the human society Vedas would come back? Today we are sitting and talking Bhagavatam, all these things, because Shankaracharya brought back the Vedas into the human society by giving this interpretation. But he did not touch commentary on Bhagavatam. Shankaracharya. So one of his followers, Sridhar Swami, gave commentary at that time. And Sridhar Swami says that if Shankaracharya gave a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam in the way he has twisted Vedanta Sutra, it would become very offensive to the Lord. And Lord Shiva is a great devotee of the Lord. So somehow he did his job. Touching and not touching. Lord's work is all very subtle and, his Lord's personal work must be so fine that you have to do exactly what the Lord wants and then leave. So some people may say, why all this in Bhagavatam, why a verse is there so that you can interpret this way and that way? You could have resolved very simply, no, this is all Rupa, God has form. Don't say two things anywhere. God has transcendental form. Could have told that and ended, no? But if you tell that and ended, all envious people will become more envious, no? Is it not? Now envious people will think God has no form. There is no God. This is the meaning of Yogamaya Samavrtaha. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. It is Lord's will that simply if you are intelligent, you cannot reach God. You cannot get this insight about the Lord's name, form, etc. Here we are preaching Krishna consciousness, we are preaching God's form, our reality of Vaikuntha, everything. Physically, right next to our temple site, there may be in the house, there may be a person who is reading Bhagavatam, who is reading everything, but He doesn't recognize, he doesn't understand, it doesn't strike him, God as a form. People who are very, say, your relatives who are very close, they like you so much, everything, but you believe in God's form, for them it doesn't strike. You have full faith. Lord has a form, Lord is in the spiritual world, Lord has rasas, variegatedness of life exists in the spiritual world. This is your understanding. So physical proximity, scholarship, the karma of having good scholarship does not give you personal understanding of God. You may wonder what is the difference between personal understanding of God in Krishna consciousness, and even Christians are also there. They think of a personal God. Muslims think of a personal God, Allah. The details of Allah, details of Father in heaven are not revealed to them. That is the only difference. If there is a good Christian or a good Muslim, then he can understand it is the same God. Now what we understand, because we speak on the basis of what Prabhupada said, they are all servants of God. Then you may say, why in Quran this like that, this is like that, this is like this. These are all many interpretations, number one. Another thing, when it comes to Bible also, so many kings have changed the Bible. If somebody is very powerful, then they can change, isn't it? Just like now in ISKCON, they are changing Prabhupada's books, isn't it? What Prabhupada wrote, same Bhagavad Gita, he lectured out of this Bhagavad Gita. They made 5,000 changes. How many? 5,000 changes. Of course, this is Macmillan edition. Without change we have. So, simply justifying and rationalizing that some typographical mistakes are there, that will be there. Then there must be other ways of correcting it. But if Prabhupada dictated on paragraph, you cannot reorganize that paragraph. This what he says in the end, you bring it in the first in the end, middle in the end, completely change that language, change everything. Majority of the changes are like that. And when somebody is questioned, they will say, no, the change is because there is, see, how can you have typographical errors, translation errors? The person who translated did not hear properly, so he wrote as planet of trees, Pitruloka. So Pitruloka, in the Macmillan edition, it says Pitruloka, planet of trees. A foreigner, what does he understand? Pitruloka. Prabhupada says Pitruloka, planet of trees. It sounded to him like that. So he typed planet of trees, and planet of trees is here. So we are changing that, they will say. No, that is all right. Such changes are permitted, we can do it. Even there you don't change. In the original, put an asterisk below and say, typographical error, please read as Pitruloka. Like that we can make, so that we don't take and tamper with Prabhupada's original work. And Prabhupada's language, approach self-realized soul, they change it, approach self-realized souls. So changing scriptures is a standard thing. Kali's business. Lord reveals the scriptures. Kali keeps changing the scriptures. So we don't find any, going by the revelations of Prabhupada, we don't find any difference. According to time, place and circumstances, One Christianity was revealed, another was Islam. But what all is, if you say, okay, why Islam is, saying so many different kinds of funny things, they say. If you do this, you will get that in the heaven. If you become a terrorist, you will get to marry. Did somebody research? Yesterday I wanted. How many virgins? 70? 72 virgins are waiting for you in the heaven. If you give your life for jihad. It's an interpretation of something else that is there. That way our Vedas also say, no, fruitive activities. You do this yoma, do this tapas, do that, everything. You will go to the higher planets and you will enjoy with apsaras. Hinduism also, Vedic, our philosophy also says. So what is so much? According to different thing, it's different there. But what is the spirit of that? Different medicine are given to different people. If somebody wants to take cure. But the essence of all these religion is to surrender to that personal God. And personal God, in our Krishna consciousness, in the Bhagavata philosophy, full details, how is transcendence, how is beyond the three modes of material nature. Whereas the other religion of personal God, they have no perception that God is transcendental. God is transcendental. It's very interesting. They say God, Allah, you should not, you cannot conceive Him. You cannot make all this idol and worship, they say. In one way, it's correct what they're saying. If you know the real philosophy, it is correct. Because God should not be seen as stone or matter or in matter. God is always transcendental. But they don't understand the Lord's omnipotency to become matter to be worshipped. That they don't understand. Don't think of Lord in any material form, material name, material nothing, they say. You should not have you should not worship anything concrete. Then we ask them, the way you are worshipping Quran, it is also very concrete, no? It is a form, letter form, shabda form is there, why you are worshipping. Why you are going to Mecca, to that place, particular place you are going, to touch one stone you are going. What is that? Is it not you are worshipping something concrete? So those are all partial revelations. But look at this Bhagavad Dharma, everything revealed very clearly. Lord has a transcendental form, Lord has His material energy, which is His own energy. And for conditioned souls who are thinking who are matter, the Lord can appear as in matter and they can receive the services of and purify the living entity. Is God so limited that you are stuck in the material senses, that He cannot make Himself appear to you? God means everything is possible for Him, no? So if you have love for Him, okay, I have this material eyes, come before me. Yeah, I'll come. Such simple philosophy. Omnipotent Lord can come anywhere, can manifest anything, do anything. So Advaitam Achyudam Anadim Anantarupam Madhyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha. The Lord has got unlimited forms. And the devotees are, according to their rasa, taste, inclination, they worship a particular form of Vishnu. They are all under Vishnu Tattva. Unlimited forms are there. Anadim Ananta Rupam. Just see. God has got Ananta Rupa, not just few, not 12 names that you say and in Krishna. No. Ananta. Advaitam, Achyudam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Adhyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanancham. And Krishna. So Prabhupada says very clearly, Krishna means Rama, Narsimha, Balarama. Krishna means Narayana. One should understand the tattva first. This is a tattva, that's a principle. It's one person, unlimited, inconceivable. I mean, imagine a person, imagine you have 5 forms, you have 10 forms. Imagine you having anadi forms. That is God. Your imagination collapses. You're a sample God. Prabhupada says from sample God you can understand God. Many aspects of God you can understand. You can start feeling what is God when you understand how you feel about yourself. And then you extend that. Your intelligence collapses, imagination collapses. That is the nature of Vishnu. That is the nature of Krishna. Any questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I think you might be aware that scientists have come up with a theory that what you see is not what it seems. Like for example, if it's a red apple, it's an image that is created by the material eyes, and it's not actually red. I mean, it seems that way because of the image that is formed behind the eyes. So now, how do we understand this when it comes to the transcendental form of the Lord? So what you see is basically, in terms of scientists, they say that what you see is actually not what it seems. It's not.
We also say that what we see is not actually what is there.
When it comes in terms of the Lord, how do we?
It is all 3 modes of material nature interacting. Your senses of seeing and the seen together give that effect. So in the material world, everything is creating that effect. Apple's form is not there actually. Apple's color, apple's form is not actually there independently. In the spiritual world, you take an apple as an identity, apple has its own color eternally. You understand? Then, I see an apple in the spiritual world. I don't have all these phenomena for seeing. This is a machine that I set up to create that effect. I directly see. A sees B. A sees B means he sees what is there in B. What is there in B? Here when you see an apple, you're not seeing what is in apple. It is not an intrinsic property of apple. Everything that the apple you think apple is not an intrinsic property of the apple, because there is no intrinsic person there to feel that I am apple. I am an apple, I am this form, I am this color. It's not there. Whereas there everything is intrinsically person. That is why it is a perfected reflection. Illusion, it's a creation. Because if you don't have people, don't have apples, you don't have trees, you don't have mountains, you don't have rivers, there is no question of rasa in this material world. The material world is created to give this Maya rasa. Spiritual world is there for Krishna Rasa. This is there for Maya Rasa. So you have to be in illusion in order to be in Maya Rasa. That is why you become devotee for some time. Even after you bloop, you cannot enjoy the world the way you used to enjoy before. Too many things you know. If you are ignorant, then you will be, oh, my wife is everything for me. And my husband is everything for me. We are in love with each other. All these things. Let's say you become devotees for some time, for a few years. Afterwards, you leave Krishna consciousness. Then you marry. All that rasa you will not get. Already gone. Maybe something for some time, but it will have its impact. The temporary nature of the material world will always come and strike you. So you have to be in ignorance if you have to enjoy the material world. In illusion. Once you become a seeker of truth, that's why Mayavadis also don't enjoy, no? Because they seek the truth. So relative truth, they immediately discover. Just like Shankaracharya says, what is the women? Flesh, blood, mucus, urine, that, all this, flesh, muscles. That's a relative reality. So if you think like that, then you cannot enjoy. Only if you forget it is there, if you think you are embracing a stool bag, will you embrace? You cannot know. It is so funny. What is this? Oh, this love making means embracing stool bodies. Cannot. You have to be fully in illusion. Then there is rasa. In fully to be illusion, your intelligence has to be drugged. Moment intelligence is alert, spiritual intelligence is alert, you cannot enjoy. It has to be drugged. And the drugging agency, that is drugging business is Maya. That is why Prabhupada said, we are all haunted. We are all drugged by Maya. Drug addicts. And Nithyam Bhagavata Seva is de-addiction program. We de-addict ourselves from this illusion. And once you get de-addicted, you will feel the real freedom, Atma's freedom. You don't get attached crazily to anybody in this material world. Anybody, wife, children, husband. You all know you came alone, you have to go back alone. This transmigration. Then who is my eternal Lord? Paramatma. He is my eternal Lord, life after life. Let me cultivate, let me develop a relationship with Him. That is Krishna consciousness. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.